for those people who made the refugee camp. If help doesn't come, if they're not able to get water, if they're not able to get sanitation, the second epidemic breaks out of sickness and disease among the survivors. Last night, my daughter sang in the school choir. So we went, and I got to sit on the floor with my baby who was not having sitting quietly while the choir sings. Took her out in the lobby. Another little baby boy about her same age was crawling all over me. I was wearing a sweater with a zipper up the front, which he found and inspected and decided to try to eat. It was very fun. Past their bedtime, I went home. And if you pass bedtime, if you have small children, parents, what is the number one priority that you have? Get the children to bed. Post haste. And so I'm getting Addison ready for bed. I'm changing her diaper. Got her laying on the floor, changing her diaper, getting her pajamas on. My wife's on the love seat behind me, and she's a cell phone, iPhone addict. And yes, this is jealousy. And she goes to Compassion International's website. Some of you sponsor kids through Compassion, as we do. And starts playing a video, which I can just hear off a little teeny iPhone speaker behind me, about the rescue efforts in Haiti. And he tells the number of how many thousands of kids are in Haiti that are sponsored through Compassion. And he says, we will let you know as soon as we know about your kid. We'll let you know. But I can tell you it won't be good news for everybody. I want you to meet Frizzlin. That's my boy in Haiti. And I don't know if he's alive or dead. We decided we just want to adopt him. We're just going to bring him over here. He's alive. He's about 7, 8 years old right now. And while I'm taking care of my baby, and the biggest concern in our lives is I would really like to get the babies in bed so we can have a few moments of peace and quiet before we collapse. Tired, in bed, soft, comfortable bed. Frizzlin is living in a completely different world because who knows what's happened to his mom, who he lives with? Who knows what's happened to him? Who knows what's happened to his friends? We're facing a crisis on the same scale, I think, in a very similar way to Katrina that happened several years ago. Katrina happened in our own borders, in our own world, in our country, and we responded deeply and emotionally. This is a little different. It's in Haiti. It's not in our world. It's something we can watch on CNN while we eat pizza. And it begs the question, why do these things happen? Why does this stuff happen? If you're a news addict, you probably heard about an evangelical Christian who was fairly outspoken in why he believes this happened. His name's Pat Robertson. If you haven't heard this is what he said. He was talking to his co-host, and you know, Christy, something happened a long time in Haiti, and people might not want to talk about it. They were under the heel of the French, and you know, Napoleon III and whatever. And they got together and swore a pact to the devil. They said, we will serve you if you'll get us free from the French. True story. And the devil said, okay, it's a deal. That alone to me is a little funny, but the devil's like, okay, it's a deal. And they kicked the French out. You know, the Haitians revolted, got themselves free, but ever since they've been cursed by one thing after the another desperately poor. This happened because they made a pact with the devil and God's smiting them. Why does this happen? By the way, I've tried to do some research on that whole pact with the devil thing. Historically, it's pretty ambiguous right now, at least the research I've done. Before you get too excited about what Pat Robertson said, he's also the one that said that Louisiana and New Orleans was being cursed because of their sinful culture, and that's why Katrina happened. If that's the case, I'm just going to tell you that we need to find a new God. Because God missed. The worst part as far as sinful stuff in New Orleans, if you've ever been there, is Bourbon Street in the French Quarter. Which area of New Orleans survived the best? The French Quarter, Bourbon Street. So apparently God in His judgment just missed, if that's the case. Yeah, okay. Why does this happen? If you have your Bibles, turn to Romans chapter 8.